Hi class, this is arbitration tape 3. Now at this point, you're ready to go into the arbitration. And so I want to make sure that you're not confused about the process that happens from here. First of all, you know that there's going to be the hearing, obviously, because next week you'll be doing it. Now the arbitration, what's going to happen is the arbitrator will introduce himself to you and you'll introduce yourself to him. Make sure that you shake his hand, make sure you look him in the eye, and make sure there are no fist shakes. As far as what you're going to wear, it should be business attire. Make sure not a lot of jewelry, also that your hair is back, not a lot of makeup. Men must wear ties, women can too if they want. You might think to yourself, this is kind of conservative, but the fact is arbitrators are conservative, and you want to meet them on their ground. Now, what the arbitrator will ask probably is, are there any issues about the evidence? And at that point, you'll have to discuss that with him if you think there is. Then the arbitrator will say, do you want to have openings? The employer has the burden of proof, so the employer will go first. And then the union will have an opening. Make sure in your opening that you say, this is what we're going to prove. We want you to look at this arbitration decision, and we're going to ask you, if you're the employer, to deny the grievance, and if you're the employee, you're going to ask the grievance be granted. Next, the arbitrator will ask, who are the witnesses for the employer? And you'll just say, we've got them right here. The arbitrator will say, do you want them to be sworn in? And I would suggest that you do. So let's take the example of a teacher that smacks a kid, okay, and knocks a few teeth out. In that situation, on direct, probably your first witness for the employer is going to be the student that has been smacked. Next, you're going to have cross-examination by the union. And remember, with direct, you can't lead, but with cross, you can. Next, let's say there was another teacher in the room who saw it and who wants to testify for the employer. So it is the employer's witness, and you're allowed to do direct with them. You can't lead. And then there will be cross. And the cross-examination, of course, will be by the union. Then the employer rests, and up comes the union with their witnesses. Let's say that they decide the first witness they want is the employee, the teacher who's accused of hitting the student. So they directly examine that teacher, and the employer can then do cross-examination. Next, let's say that they have another teacher that was in the room and who wants to testify on behalf of the grievant. So they'll directly examine that other teacher, and then the employer will cross-examine. Now, after those witnesses are all done, the arbitrator will say, do you want to have a closing? And you do. And so the employer will go first, and the union will go second. Remember, in the closing, there again it should be short, and you say, this is what we proved during the arbitration hearing. And we'd like you to look at this arbitration decision. It should not be the same as the opening. And then the employer asks for relief, which is deny the grievance. The union does the same thing as the employer, only they say, we ask for relief, and that would be that you grant the grievance. The arbitrator will then close the hearing, and he may decide to decide right there, or they'll say, you know what, I need some time, and I'll let you know later. Remember that it's the arbitrator, not me, that's going to grade you. Thank you very much, and this is the end of Arbitration 3.